also like I just felt so empowered and so accomplished by having a natural birth. So my mom came down, she's like, you have to get her to the hospital. I was like, Brett, just take a shower, you have time. He didn't have time. Hello. It was exactly what I wanted for my labor, is to labor at home and get through it.
You did such an amazing job. I'm so proud.
You did it, honey.
So I started making more noise, and then I let out like a blood-curdling scream. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy today I get to do my birth story video. If you haven't seen our birth vlog yet, go check it out. I'll link it up here or whichever side it is so you can see our birth vlog. It went how I wanted it to, but also extremely fast, and so I wasn't able to like walk you through what was going on because so much was going on so fast. So go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sierra here at the Robinson home. We'd love to have you a part of our YouTube family, so please subscribe and like this video if you'd like to see more videos about our sweet little Lottie. This is Lottie. She is such a sweet addition to our family. So I guess that I'll just start from the very beginning. Let me scoot forward a little bit. I guess I'll just start from the day that my mom got into town. She got into town on September 8th, Wednesday, September 8th. My due date was the 12th. And so she got in on the 8th. On the 9th I had an appointment. And I had already decided beforehand that I wanted to get a membrane sweep done. And so I went in there, got a membrane sweep done. You can see that video too. I'll link that as well. But I got that done. I was really disappointed because I was still only at a 2, and he like kind of made it seem like, oh, I said you were at a 2 last time? Well, yeah, you're barely at a 2 now. So I was super disappointed. But I got the membrane sweep done, and with Ren, my last baby, it didn't do anything really. I lost my mucus plug, but I hadn't really, it didn't send me into labor. I had to be induced with Ren, or I was induced with Ren with how timing worked out. And so anyways, so I was bummed out. The next morning, so going back in time to when I found out I was pregnant, I thought that my due date was September 5th, but the baby, Lottie, was measuring that her due date was a week later, and so they said that I must have just ovulated later than I thought. And so anyways, I think now, talking with my mom and Brett about it, that my due date must have been the 5th and that I was late. That I gave birth to her almost a week later, because I've never gone into labor on my own. I was induced a day before my due date with May, or I had her a day before, but I was induced like at 11 p.m. the day before her due date. And then with Greta, it was 6 days before. With Ren, it was 2 days after her due date, and that Lottie came on her own before her due date makes me think that she was actually late. So that's weird thinking. But going off of the due date that they gave me, which was the 12th, I was on that Thursday when I got my membrane sweep, I was still 3 days before my due date. So the next morning, so everything went fine the rest of the day. I mean, there was some cramping. I think there possibly was a tiny bit of spotting. I don't think there was even much at all, actually. I don't think there was any. If any, there might have been a tiny bit. So I woke up at 6 a.m. on the 10th in like having pretty intense period cramps. It was our baby, or our then baby, Ren. She was almost a year and a half when we had Lottie. Actually, yeah, she wasn't quite a year and a half yet, but really close. She was sleeping with me. I was snuggling up to her, and I woke up to period cramps. And so I was in not a lot of pain, but it woke me up. I started timing them, and I was having them every, let's see how many minutes apart. I think they were every like 2 to 5 minutes apart that I was having them. And let's see. So at 6:03 that morning, I had okay, so it's still 7 minutes apart after that, and then 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3. So they were pretty close together. When Brett and the other girls woke up, and my mom came down here, I was telling them that they weren't super intense contractions, but they just felt like period cramps that were coming at a pretty, like, the intervals between the contractions were pretty close, but they just weren't super intense contractions. So we decided just to continue laboring at home. So throughout the day, we just, I took a shower and that helped. I mean, they weren't intense contractions. They were mostly, it felt like just painful period cramps that were coming pretty constantly. I sat on the ball and talked with my mom and the girls and Brett, and took a shower. Brett cleaned out the car with the girls, and then later we went to a chocolate tasting. Me and my mom did. That was fun. And there's another video about that too that I'll link. And then we went to get our nails done, and that was fun. And throughout both of these, I was having pretty intense contractions. Not like where I was like, nobody talked to me. I tried to pretend like they weren't really happening, kind of. Just like breathing and like thinking in my mind, okay, get through this. And my mom even talked to me about like having like a picture in my head of like the baby moving down and allowing those contractions to really work. And so I remember during the chocolate tasting being like getting a pretty intense one and just like breathing through it. And then during the manicure, I remember having like a distinct contraction that was like really painful, and sitting on that chair too just wasn't helpful. And so throughout the day, so anyways, and then I also drove home from the manicure having some contractions, so that was kind of crazy, but they were manageable. Like I was able to get through them. It wasn't like, I mean, they were painful, but and like throughout the day there wasn't as much documenting because I was busy doing things. Anyways, we came home. Brett made eggplant parm, I think. Yeah, and we had that, and then that night we played games and had chocolate, and I was having contractions, but they weren't like, they were more like 9-10 minutes apart. When we got home, there's a picture, I'll post it here too, that it was in another video too, but of Greta, of me laying on Greta's lap during contraction and her just like rubbing my face. It was really sweet. But during the day, I really sat on the ball most to help me get through contractions. I would breathe through the de-stressor breath of breathing in through my nose for 4 seconds and out of my mouth for 6 seconds. And then Brett, and really, I don't know how much I counted that, more of just like feeling how long I wanted to take a deep breath in and a breath out for. But also Brett put pressure on my lower back to help me get through the contractions, which was also really helpful. And so that helped me get through those. And when we were like playing games, just sitting there, I would have to like, okay, I'm having one right now. And I would breathe and close my eyes, and everyone would kind of leave me alone, or I would whisper, Brett, come help me. And he would come over and help me and put pressure on my back. But I was really able to get through these really well at home, and that's exactly what I wanted. I really wanted to labor at home. I was able to also like walk around the yard once, and it was just really, it was exactly what I wanted for my labor, is to labor at home and get through it. So I didn't have any medication through my labor, which I was really happy about. That night I did an enema, which I'm really glad I did. I think I should do that every time because it really empties you out and gets you like just cleared out. I took a bath and wasn't really feeling many contractions in there, but once I sat up a little bit, I had one, and it was really, our bath is so shallow, and so I was trying to put water on my stomach and it just didn't help. So later that night, went to bed, tried to go to bed. I tried to fall asleep sitting on the ball, leaning against the bed, watching a Hallmark movie. And I was like, I just want to lay down. So I laid in bed, turned on the movie on my phone instead so that I could like actually go to sleep without having a big light on from the TV. And I'd fall asleep, but so let's see, I think I fell asleep around like probably a little bit before 1 o'clock. So I tried to fall asleep. I was waking up like every 8 minutes with a contraction. So it says at like, let's see, at 12:22 I had a contraction that had been 16 minutes from the last. At 12:32 I had one that was 9 minutes from the last. 10:43, 10:52, 1:04, and then 1:14, which all of them were about 9 to 12 minutes apart. Then at 1:23 it was 8 minutes apart. 1:34, 11 minutes apart. And then at 1:40 I had one, and that was 5 minutes and 52 seconds from the last one. And I tried to get up to walk to the bathroom, and I could not walk there. I was in so much excruciating pain. So I woke up Brett, and I was like, I can't move. How am I supposed to do this? Like, I mean, I wasn't this calm talking to him. I was like, I can't get anywhere. I need help. And he was like, I think we need to get to the hospital. So I went to the bathroom. I had to pee. Came back, sat in the ball, and he's like, I think we need to get to the hospital. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I think so too. So we went and got my mom. Meanwhile, I had another contraction that was 4 minutes apart, then 3 minutes and 45 seconds apart, then 3 minutes and 47 seconds apart, then 4 minutes and 15 seconds apart, and then it was 3 minutes and 45 seconds apart, then 2 minutes and 21 seconds apart. So really quickly it was going, okay, I was at, 10, 8, 11 minutes, and then all of a sudden it went 5, 4, 3, 3, 4, 3, 2, and it was like, okay, we got to get moving. So the funny thing is, so I had been sleeping with a heating pad between my legs because I was in so much pain, and I was like, okay, this could help. Actually, earlier that night too, I tried to take a nap on the couch when my mom and Brett were getting the girls to sleep. I couldn't even sleep because of the pain and discomfort, but I had a heating pad, which was helpful. I think I also might have had a headache too. Anyways, so my mom came down, she's like, you have to get her to the hospital. I was like, Brett, just take a shower, you have time. He didn't have time, so I'm really glad he only dipped his head in the water. And so I had a heating pad. I was like, I'm not leaving without it. So we unplugged it, and I had it against my stomach, which is so funny because it obviously doesn't work if it's not plugged in. I had a blanket around me. My mom, we're so kicking ourselves for not filming this, but she said that as she was walking, Brett had stuff in his back pockets, or Brett had stuff that he was just dropping on the way out. I was dragging this blanket, dragging the cord to the heating pad, just completely in pain. Down the hall, my mom was stuffing things in his back pockets because he kept on dropping things. We also forgot the diaper bag, which is so funny. But they put a pillow down in the front seat for me to sit on. We put the ball in the car in case the hospital didn't have a ball for me to use. And we left. So we left at around 2:10 maybe. I couldn't even get my shoes on. I was in so much pain. We finally got out there. It's funny, my mom was trying to yell something out because she thought Biscuit, our dog, was in the sunroom. He was in the laundry room where he usually sleeps. But she thought he was in there and that he got out, and she yelled something out, and Brett's like, the light's inside. And she was like, okay, I can't do anything about this. If he ran away, he ran away. And we hadn't heard her. So anyways, we drove there, and long story short, really painful contractions. I was breathing through them, finally got to the point where I was like making noise in between of them, like, breathing like that. And Brett works with the residents at the hospital in the emergency room, and so he called there, found out who was in there, and also told him that we were coming. And after, when we got to the hospital, they had said something about how the nurse was like, I can hear her breathing, I can hear his wife breathing, and she's definitely gonna have this baby soon, which is so funny. Anyways, I told Brett, I was like, we're not gonna have the baby in the car, and he's like, I know. So I was trying to like give him comfort about it, but he was like totally just like in the zone, trying to get there fast. Anyways, it was so painful. Finally got to the hospital. Brett wanted to drop me off at the front, but I was like, no, I don't want to walk in by myself. So he parked. We got a really close parking spot, which was really nice. And we got into the hospital, and he wanted to get me in a wheelchair, but I was like, no, I'm not sitting in a wheelchair. I just want to walk, because I was in so much pain. Sitting hurt me so much worse. At one point during the day too, I would try to like lay back on the couch, and through a contraction, it hurt so much worse than sitting on the ball or even standing. And one point when I was trying to change Ren's diaper, I was kneeling over her, and that hurt so bad too. So I knew what was going to help me, and I did not want to sit in a wheelchair. So we were walking. I was having contractions every like 1 minute 30 seconds apart at this point, I think. So I'd bend over, Brett would either put pressure on my back or talk me through it. It was just really intense and really, really, really painful. It took us so we got to the hospital at around 2:45, and we got to the room at around 3. So at 3, they had told us that they had taken my urine sample, so I had to pee anyways. They took a sample. Brett was like watching the toilet to make sure the baby didn't come out. That's how like intense and quick this was. So they took the urine sample, and now it was at 3 o'clock. So that means at 3 a.m. I had gotten into the room. I changed into my gown. They asked me if I had something to change into, and I have never brought my own gown. So I used their gown, got in the bed, which was so uncomfortable, and all that I wanted was to sit on a ball, because that's like the only thing that I knew would really help me through these contractions. And then Brett could, it was just so much, it was just something that I knew would help me, and just laying back in that bed was so much more painful than different positions I knew I could be in. But they had to get the IV in me, and they wanted to check me to see what I was at. So I got in there, they checked me. I was at a 7 or 8 is what they said, which was amazing. But at the time I was in so much pain that I was just like, yeah, that's great, but So, and it seemed forever, like it took them forever to put the IV into my hand too. So, and the nurse was like, okay, I'll get you the ball, I'll get you the ball. But I just kept on asking for it because I knew that it was going to be able to help me. So then I had felt pressure in the car too, but then I especially started feeling it in the hospital room. And I was like, I feel pressure, I need to push, somebody, I need to push. And they, and so like, okay. And so she wanted to check me again. So she checked me and she said, okay, your cervix is almost gone. Can I leave my hand here so I can see you with the next contraction if it goes all the way away? And after that, they were like, okay, let's get the doctor. Because I was like, I have to push. So then you can see her in the birth vlog, her walking away with the ball, which is just so funny because I had no idea she even brought the ball in. But it was just going so rapidly that it was just crazy. So from the day before, Thursday at, I don't know, I had my appointment probably around like 3 or so. When they did, I was at a 2. And then usually I think that I go from like, it takes me a while to get from like a 2 or 3 to a 6 or so. So I think that's what happened during the day when I was laboring. And then at night I was just going quickly, you know. So I was at a 7 or 8. Then the doctor came in anyways after she had checked me. And then after she had checked me that second time and said my cervix was almost all the way gone, the doctor came in. Keep in mind that I had come in at 3 a.m. At this point it was probably 3:08 when he came in. I don't know, probably 3:10 when he came in. And I was pushing and it was really painful, but I was going and it was going well. And then it was so going well as in like I was getting somewhere and she was coming, but it was so painful. And at one point, if you've seen the birth vlog, you know, I started making more noise and then I let out like a blood curdling scream. And I think that the point that was at is when it would have been the ring of fire, where her head was stretching me out, and what they call the ring of fire because they say it burns. For me, it didn't burn. It was just so excruciating. It was just I can't even explain it. If you've had a natural childbirth, then you know what I'm talking about. But like excruciating pain doesn't even begin to explain it. It was so painful. All I could do was scream. And for family members or friends that know me, I'm a very silent sufferer. If I'm sick, I just want to be really quiet, and I want to like I don't need to like moan and groan through my pain. So for me to scream shows that it was extremely excruciating. And so I screamed, and that was after I tried to push. I wasn't pushing anymore when I was screaming. And then I ended up holding the blanket up to my face when I was gonna push again, because they were like, okay, push whenever you're ready. And I was like, I can't. I did not want to do it. It was so painful. And so I kind of like felt like I was like cheating or giving myself a break, because I was like, I can't push right now. I can't do it. And finally I was like, okay, I have to do something in order to get her out. So I have to push. So I did. I pushed. They told me that it was just with 2 contractions, and probably, I'm assuming it was only like 4 pushes or so until she was out. 4 or 5 pushes. I'll see what Brett says. I'll write it in here if it's different than what I've just said. But anyways, and so I was pushing, and Brett's like, okay, she's almost here, her head's out. And then the doctor's like, okay, just a little push. Anyways, I did a little push, and I thought that she maybe was out. So I was like, is she out? And then within like half a second after that, she was all the way out. And it was so amazing and so beautiful. Just one of the most amazing experiences in my life. And you can see that in the birth video, that I was like, we did it, Lottie, we did it. And I really felt that way about her birth, that it was me putting in a ton of hard work and her putting in a ton of hard work, and it led to her beautiful birth, her beautiful life starting on earth. And it was just so amazing to be able to experience it in that way. I said right after, I'm never doing it again. And it's funny, you can hear the nurse saying, I think she's gonna forget and want to do it again. And not that I've forgotten the pain, but it's not fresh anymore. Even while I was in the hospital, I think I told Brett that I would do it again, just because the recovery was so much better and easier mentally and physically. And also, like, I just felt so empowered and so accomplished by having a natural birth. I've wanted to do that since having my first baby. I wanted to go as far as I could without an epidural. And this time, doing it completely without an epidural, without any pain medication, was just so empowering that I can do anything. And just working together with her, I feel like we have this bond. Lottie and I have this bond that is just so indescribable. It's just so amazing. And so they put her on my chest right after Brett cut the umbilical cord. He said it's so funny because the doctor had the umbilical cord right here, and Brett's like, okay, I don't want to cut his finger. It's just really funny. He didn't cut his finger, but he was able to cut the umbilical cord. I had Lottie with me, laying on my chest, and it was just such a empowering moment for me, and such like a, I just felt it was so heavenly, so spiritual, and so beautiful that although I was in such pain, it was so amazing what my body was capable of, what I was capable of mentally, and what Lottie was capable of. I was able to, like, I mean, none of us remember our births, you know, when we were born, but I imagine that it's a lot of work for them too, you know, that they have to make their way out of the birth canal. And I don't know, it's just amazing to see to have experienced that, and to have experienced that with her. I feel like we have this special bond after having her naturally, and it was just such a prize at the end of such an excruciating, physically excruciating process. We weren't allowed to have any visitors. Brett was there with me, which he was a great support person. We had talked a lot about how I really wanted to do this, and talked about, because I had thought that it was possible that maybe I'd have to be in the hospital laboring longer, or it would take longer in the hospital. This was extremely quick. We had talked about it, and I had watched YouTube videos on things that like your spouses can do, or your birth partner can do to help you get through labor. And I had told him specific things he could say, or ideas of things that he could say, and it was really helpful and really great to have him be so supportive and helpful, and just really like empowering, like saying things to empower me, that I was made for this, and that I've gone this far, and that I've done this so far without any medication. It was just so amazing. I'm really grateful that he helped me so much. After she was born, after I was holding her for a few minutes, the nurse took her, and they had to get out a bunch of the like membrane pieces of the placenta that were stuck. I don't remember pushing out the placenta. I think that he more like pulled it out, which is funny. I asked him if I had torn, which I didn't, which is amazing, because I had torn with all 3 of the other girls. Actually, with me I had an episiotomy, but with the other girls I tore. But with Lottie I didn't. She was 7 pounds 1 ounce and 18.5 inches long. So our tiniest baby, which I was really grateful for having her naturally. I was like, okay, thank goodness, because our biggest was May, and she was 8 pounds 11 ounces. And then our other 2 were both still in the 8-pound range, and so Lottie being so little was good to have her naturally that way. But anyways, it was really painful when they were trying to clean me out, because the nurse was pushing on my stomach, the doctor was reaching and trying to get all the pieces of the membrane out. And even after I came home from the hospital, I passed some, what you'd say are blood clots, but I knew that they were like pieces of the membrane still, which is but anyways, and then we were able just to hold her in our hospital. You don't move rooms, you stay in the same room the whole time. And so we were just in our room, and I was able to, it was amazing with the recovery of having no epidural, that I was able to walk to the bathroom and go to the bathroom easily, and not be worried about stitches. I was obviously still sore, but didn't have any stitches. I was able to walk so easily. Mentally, I was so much healthier than I had been in the past with other births, and just so much more like in the moment than I had been at other times. And so maybe I'll do a video on the pros and cons with having an epidural and not, because I've had epidurals, and I've had one of mine worked amazingly, and so I know the pros of having an epidural, but I also know the pros of not having it, and the cons of both as well. But maybe I'll do a video on that. If you're interested in that, then leave me a comment below letting me know. Anyways, I'm so grateful for the birth experience I had with her, because it's exactly how I wanted it to go. And I'm just so grateful for it. So, oh, you're awake. She has started smiling. She's 6 weeks old as of yesterday. Hi. Should we say hello? Should we say hello? So sweet. Are you so sweet? We all love her. The girls love her. She's just a sweet little lady. Lottie, say hello. Say hello. She's so sweet. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm planning on doing more videos about newbornhood and the essentials that I have with her and with my other babies. and then maybe even things that I don't think that you need for your newborn, and swaddling your newborn, all these different ideas that I have for videos. But if there's anything you're interested in me filming, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Sweet girl. Did you want to call my mom in a few minutes?
Yeah, let me. I'm gonna call her right now. Okay, she just texted back. Call on speaker.
You say she was born?
Yeah.
Hi. Can you come up
Hi,
to
Mom.
Ren?
Oh, hi,
Hi,
Ren.
I'll talk to Rennie.
Hi, Ren.
The sleep, sis.
She woke up at about 2:30 and we've been watching stuff. Congratulations. Oh my heck. Can you tell us all about it?
Yeah, so I mean, Sierra was, the contractions just kept coming really quick. And like as we got to the hospital, they really turned into about every minute. And then, yeah. And anyways, we got her in here, and by the time they checked her the first time, she was at a 7. Her water still hadn't broken. And then, yes, yeah. And then after that, they got the IV in, and Sierra really wanted to be on a ball, but then she started to feel like she needed to push. She pushed for just a few minutes, 3 minutes or so. I have no idea. But anyways, then she had her, and she is 7 pounds 1 ounce.
Oh, Brett, you were right. I can't believe that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, Sierra. You're such a baby.
Ren, you have a little baby sister.
18 inches.
Yeah, and I think she's 18 or 18 and a half inches.
Oh my
If you feel any gushes, let me know, okay?
I know, she's so tender.
Okay.
We didn't really, wait, Ren and I are going to look at the pictures. Again, we barely saw that coming in. Okay, do you want to see Ren? Look at your baby sister. She's so pretty. Who does she look like, you guys?
Nobody, Sierra says. Yeah, and she's sweet. She got color quick, but she hasn't cried much, and she's just happy to be out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. So let me get this straight. You guys, Sierra, it was really hard labor getting there.
Yeah.
Did they go?
Oh, really? That's so sweet. Yeah, this was...
So we hang up because I can't control the phone.
It was so fast. It was crazy how fast it was. We didn't even have time to... They put the IV in, and then I started pushing.
Yeah.
They didn't get the ball in here. I said, "Do you promise you'll get the ball, Brett?" And then they were like, "We'll go get the ball." And then she's like, "Let me just check you first if you feel like you need to push." And she checked me, and I said, "Somebody come in and help me."
And then your water just broke on its own.
And my water broke on its own at some
was
point,
like...
but they don't know when it did. And then I felt a ton of...
The funny thing is, I noticed right before she checked, I was like, did her water break? Like, I specifically looked, because like right there on your waist, it looked like it was wet.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness. So Sierra, really, you'll never do that again? Because look how gracefully you did it.
And think how much money we saved.
We saved a lot of money, and it was really empowering, but I don't think I want to do it again. I mean, come on, Brett, what time did you say I would have her by? 11 a.m. tomorrow morning? And
I think I said 10.
We were like, wow. And I thought we would be coming to the hospital at like 4 a.m. Good thing
I already
we came,
have her.
Good
Yeah.
thing we came when we did, because I felt like, Mom, I felt pressure in the car. I felt like I needed to push in the car.
Sierra, I was really concerned when I was watching
she's
your
been up.
contractions just while Brett was getting stuff in the car. I was concerned he was going to have to pull over and deliver the baby. I really was. So you know that when you're having regular contractions, however many minutes apart, you're going to go fast.
Yeah.
You just have to know that now.
Well, we need to look at that app, because she just wants to eat.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going, like, it was still 9, 10, 11 minutes, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then in the car, Mom, it was like 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds.
On top of each other.
And then walking, Mom, I didn't want to sit in the wheelchair at all. I just didn't want to because I knew
I
it
was just
wasn't
trying to
worse.
get you here faster because I knew that these were close, so that's why I was trying to push for it.
But
so
I didn't.
sorry.
I didn't want to, and
I know you
had to
didn't.
every like 30 seconds. I had to stop. I squoze the combs until she came out all the way, and I dropped them. I don't even know where I put them. I squozed
Yeah,
them.
they're just on the ground.
That was the fastest.
Is that indescribable pain? Like, you cannot describe it, right?
I cannot describe it at all. And you'll watch that video, and the girls can't watch it because I was like, I have never screamed out of pain like that ever in my life.
I'm so glad it went fast here. I am so glad that once you went to have. Oh, you want to hold her? Okay.
She wants to nurse. I need to try to nurse her.
Okay.
It started going faster, that everything went fast. You did such an amazing job. I'm so proud of you.
You did it, honey.
Thank you. I'm so happy, and it's so much. I didn't tear, Mom. I didn't tear at all.
Oh my God.
Isn't
I'm
that
going to fix it
amazing?
for you, Ren. Let me fix it for you. Here we go.
I mean,
There she is.
I know, I've already done that too.
You want to see a picture of Daddy instead? Here.
Lottie.
I'm
She
pulling
kind
up.
of looks like May.
There's Daddy. Hi, Daddy.
Hi Ren.